Hello my loves, welcome to today's reading. So today's reading, as you have seen already, is about your next 3 months. Yay! So we are specifically going to look at your May, June and July and see the overall kind of changes that happen. If there's specific messages, I will definitely address them. In fact, I already have because they're already pre-shuffled, so I'm not really sure why I'm even saying that I will, because it's already done. And there are a lot of interesting messages, I'll tell you that. Okay, so for those who are new to this channel or to this concept of pick a card readings, the way it works is that you have a couple of piles and just take a minute, don't overthink it, and try to feel which pile draws your attention the most. It is possible that you might be drawn to more than one pile. That means that there are messages in that second or third or fourth pile for you as well. Feel free to watch the videos as well, and maybe some messages resonate for your particular situation. There were some similar messages in some of the piles, so that could be the case for you. Once you're done choosing the pile, you can scroll down to the comment section below or to the description box, and you can find the timestamps that correspond to each pile. Click them and you will be redirected directly to that specific reading that you chose. That's been said, let's go ahead and introduce the piles. So we have, for the first pile, we have the black obsidian. Pile number 2 comes with the carnelian stone. Then we have pile number 3 with the clear quartz. And pile number 4 with tiger's eye. So take all the time that you need. You can pause the video if you'd like to. I'm going to go ahead and start with pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1s. If you chose the black obsidian stone here, then this is your reading about what's going to be happening in the next 3 months. So everything's very pre-shuffled. We're just going to lay out the cards out, and I'm going to have a look at your May, June, July. This is how it's going to go like. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so what I can see here, how it works is that we're going to look at the months like that. So let's start with your May. First thing first, we start with May with the card, the Wheel of Fortune. Now this card is about success, but also about big changes, and a lot of things kind of happen simultaneously at the same time around you. So the way I can see it, either way you want to change things or things are going to start changing around you, because it went along with the rock bottom or oracle card, and it makes me feel like you feel like there's no progress, or you're just tired with the way of you were living, like maybe some things are just not the way you wanted them. Maybe you pictured a different future and things just don't seem to move anywhere. Maybe just some progress in some sort of area, it doesn't move the way you wanted. And you kind of, were waiting for this sign, for this higher power of sort, for this kind of like, look at the third eye here. Like you were looking and waiting for something like a sign or some sort of small hint on where to move next, and you felt stuck. So basically how I feel like in the previous months you felt stuck. So what I can feel here is that in May, things will start moving. On the very least, you will start maybe pushing them even, because, enough is enough. I kind of feel like you have this attitude about your May, that enough is enough. Like you perhaps were waiting for a lot of changes, for a lot of, changes in a lot of situations to kind of shift, because you felt like there was no progress in one of those the areas of your life. I do feel like mainly it's just an overall idea of your life. It doesn't necessarily speak about your love area or your money. It kind of like symbolizes literally everything kind of here. And I do feel like maybe the thing is that you don't really get a sign, but you're just deciding to just push and change things on your own, because as we can see the transition here to your next month, which is the month of June, we have the Chariot. So the Chariot is somebody very persistent, and it is indicating success, but also like somebody who works hard for what they have and they push forward. Like kind of how I imagine this card is like success is at your grasp, but you just have to push forward. You try and you're like so determined. I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get it. So that's what makes me feel like, it feels like because of how the months progress, you in May will be shifting things around, like kind of moving this rock bottom situation of a sort, because I can see here that with number 1 and number 4 here, the 4 is about stability, but also like a settled down, and it can also kind of be a bit too stable, It can be that you're just stuck in a situation that just doesn't resolve. Maybe you're waiting for some changes, you wait for, basically it's just a feeling of waiting for changes and it don't happen, so you're kind of, I feel like you're going to push forward, or at the very least your attitude will going to change. And here's the thing. So what's happening in June? I feel like in June, some sort of success in your environment around you happens through your own effort. I feel like you're much more determined in June. Like you really have this energy about you that you want to shift things around you. And I'm looking at this into the unknown. So here's the thing. I do feel like regardless of the fact that you don't see the signs or where this is going and so forth and so on, I do feel like you can still push forward. Like, you know, you do know that you don't know the entire picture yet. Maybe you don't have exactly a proper understanding where you want things to change to, but you just want that change. You're craving that change. It feels like it. And you're getting this because the Chariot is a card of success. So the Chariot is a card of success and a hard work and kind of like pushing forward, and a very persistence card. It's kind of like persistence. I do feel like you're just had this enough attitude. You just really want changes, and you're not minding the unknown. You do have a little bit of fear here, but you know, I'm looking at the rainbow in the back. Like things are gonna work out. Just I feel like you're finally getting the strength, or like just not even the strength, kind of like the positive rage. Like I just want things to change. Like I want some progress. I want some positive progress. And it feels like finally you're going to start feeling slowly, one by one, a little bit at peace. We also have the number 7 here. So I do feel like luck is going to be on your side. I do feel like your hard work kind of is going to be paying off. At the very least, you'll feel finally some sort of changes around you because, as I said before, Chariot is about success. And with the Mantin here, I do feel like you're gonna definitely feel much better about things finally. Like you're gonna finally get this kind of peace, understand that things are finally kind of moving. You're not quite sure yet in June where they're moving, but you do know that they're moving somewhere. What's interesting enough, because this is about acting tricky. This card in Tara is about acting tricky. But the thing is, in reverse, in this case, and seemingly how this into other unknown is pops up in the previous month, and look at what it comes with. It comes with the details, right? So I do feel like this indicates that you're gonna get more clarity. So if you were a little bit on the unknown, like you just were pushing forward because you cannot anymore, you just want change in some areas because you felt like you were stuck, you get that clarity and details in July. So whatever you were not clear about during the June month, but still you were kind of pushing forward, getting some sort of results, feeling a little bit at ease about it. The clarity really comes into action, into play in July. So your situation gets a little bit more clarity in physical form. You get a little bit of like the resolution just, it kind of feels like, you know, puzzles that were scattered around, they kind of get one, like piece by piece all together. You finally get this understanding of what you want to do, of what's happening, where you're going forward. Like you pushed forward and now you finally understand where you're going to. I have all the time this number 7 in front of me, so it just kind of pops in. Also 7 here, so a lot of 7 numbers. Yeah, could be your lucky number. Also could be the fact that it just means that your persistence, your desire to change things, and your pushing forward, kind of, it will eventually work out for the best for you. The exchanging gifts. So I do feel like finally July is going to be like the most stable of the month, because you will have a lot of clarity. And the things that you were kind of working in the blind and trying to change, because it feels like you're acting and changing things in a successful direction, but in kind of like you don't see the entire picture still in June. So whatever it has to do with, it could be like any type of entrepreneurship idea. It could be just any business, not much about love, but I feel like in general, the direction where your life goes to, it feels like in June, you get kind of like finally started to calm down a little bit, because you feel like things are finally going somewhere, even though you're not exactly clearly seeing where they go to. And yeah, in July, you will get those details. You will get out of this like kind of this self-tricking atmosphere, self-tricking kind of like not knowing yet where you're going to. There's definitely a lot of clarity, and there's definitely, you'll get the details and definitely, as we see here, the change will happen. So the exchanging gifts make me think that you're going to be, the surroundings around you, they feel more fresher and much more exciting in July. So you might have a lot of connections. You will finally feel at ease and in peace, and things that were not kind of moving forward, or if they felt stuck, they're going to just kind of like this boredom even here, or just things are too relaxed. And as it shifts here, you can see that in July, it feels like a lot of fresh interconnections, like you exchanging information, exchanging perhaps even like knowledge. And even if you're doing a business or you're kind of thinking about your work, there's a lot of environment, like there's a lot of positive hustle here. Yeah, there's a lot of positive hustle happening here for you, pile number one. So this was the last card that we had. It kind of summarizes the 3 months ahead. So this talked about that everything is connected. So as you can see, well, everything is exactly connected. Everything you do kind of has progress into the future. So, I mean, it's quite obvious. Everything we do has consequences, and there's a sequence of events that unfold with every choice. But it does feel like what you start in even April, I do think like in April you just had enough and you start acting on it. In May it progresses. In June you have this unknown kind of still, like things already finally feel like you kind of get more fulfilled and calm down because things start changing to the direction that make you feel at ease. So you finally see some progress and some change, but you still have no full glimpse of where exactly it's heading. And kind of by July you have so much going on, you have so much activity, freshness, excitement around you, and you feel like the details that you were missing, they're kind of finally pop up and show up. I also look at this compass here. That's the compass, right? It looks like a compass to me. It did feel like a compass to me, even if it's not. I'll just call it a compass. So yeah, we have the compass here. So I do feel like the way you're heading, it's going to be so much clearer in July. So whatever this idea has to do with, because it's a general reading for a lot of you and also for a lot of ideas in general, overall life situations, I didn't focus on money, career, or love. I focus on everything a little bit, but little by little. So it just feels like you were craving changes and they're happening, and the clarity and the excitement and the like magic around you, it's happening definitely like throughout the entire 3 months. But in July, you finally understand what's going on. Like finally this blindfold here falls down and you understand finally the full picture of where you're heading with your changes. And remember, pile number one, oh my god, my voice is getting so hoarse these days. Anyways, remember, pile number one, everything is connected. So everything you start now will resolve and bring results in the future, in the very short future, because this is reading for the next 3 months. I do feel like in 3 months from now, you're gonna have much more excitement, much more clarity. You will understand your surroundings much better. You will have a lot of interactions, most likely, or at the very least, there's a lot of freshness. And the things that felt like rock bottom stuck, they actually move and successfully kind of develop into the progress that you were kind of craving. I do feel like you were craving some progress and change by number ones. So yeah, this was a short reading. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Feel free to check my other videos. I do have a video about April, so there's kind of like a similar atmosphere here with one of the piles of the April video. So you can check that for fun of it and see if that clicks and it has any similar connection. But that's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. Yeah, I'll see you around. Bye! Hello, number twos. So welcome to your reading. Today's reading is about your next 3 months, and it is your reading if you chose this pile or this beautiful carnelian stone here. The way it's gonna go is like we're gonna look at the first month of the 3 months, which is then May, June, and July. So we're gonna look at those 3 months and we're gonna see the big changes happening in your life. So that is literally, it can be anything. I'm not specifying it to career. I'm not specifying it to, to work, career, study, or love. It can be literally anything the tarot and the oracles want to tell us today. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'll lay out the cards and let's have a look. So this would be your May. In your May, we start with the Six of Wands. Now, the Six of Wands is a card of optimism and success, but it depends also how it combines. It can be also sort of recognition of a sort, or being exposed to a big amount of people, like if you're, like, for instance, a social media influencer or whatever. What I see here, because I see a sequence of a story here, I do feel like, okay, so pile number one. Pile number two. I do feel like perhaps you started a business or some sort of activity in your home. That's for some of you. For others, it could be that you moved to a new home, because this also has a certain sense of movement here. And also moved in there with maybe somebody precious to you. It could be either way that you change homes or you're doing something from your home, but whatever this month indicates, it means that whatever is happening, it happens in the new space, in a new home, or in your old space in your home. But in your home, there's a lot of happiness and optimism. So considering how this goes, it feels like, yeah, it could be potential that you're changing homes, or it could be potential that just a lot of things are happening in your home. Part number two. It does feel to me like perhaps you start even a job of a sort, or maybe a career. Maybe you start working from home, or maybe friends are visiting you more often at home. But it just feels like home is kind of like the main area where you're at in your May, and it brings you a lot of optimism. It could be also if you're doing studies, you finally like get finished with your studies in that month, but I do feel like with this happiness card here, so yeah, this optimism and happiness, there's a lot of positivity happening in your home, in your space. Potentially it could be that you're moving to a new place. It could be potentially that you start a business or some sort of activity starting from your home. Things seem to be like just very optimistic, uplifting. You just feel at your highest spirits of a sort, and you're not alone. I do feel like in that place you're with somebody else. Like you're either way, if you moved with your partner there that month, that's fantastic, congratulations, and you will be really happy there apparently with that. Or it could be that it just feels like you're sharing a really lovely and wonderful space at home, like it's a very joyful time that you're spending there. What I'm thinking here, like what I'm seeing here is that, look, in June, what's happening is that, so we have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is, well, it's earth energy, it's practical energy, so it has perhaps something to do with job, career, but it feels like with the Golden Palace here, is that how it transits from home to Golden Palace. So I do feel like perhaps you're working, like a lot of you guys work from home, or you're just starting something at home, but I do feel like for a lot of you stay at home and you work from your home, and actually you feel very good at there. In June, I do feel like you're going to be very well off in terms of finances. So your place, just either way, money is going to come flow into your place, or you're just going to be doing something like some work from your place. But I do feel like you will feel very comfortable. Like you see, the conditions you're going to be living under in that month are like very comfortable. It feels like it's just very comfortable in terms of practicality, financial, materially. It feels like everything that you need are going to be there in June. So it could be potentially that you're settled down in your new home, or it could be potentially that you're just starting working from home and you have a lot like coming into you, like you turn literally your home into this Golden Palace. With the Golden Palace, it does make me think that there is some sort of earning, some sort of money situation involved here, kind of like abundance, kind of inflow of a sort. I'm also looking at those roots here, and they do remind me a little bit of kind of like, settling ground for something, like rooting down, like, how a tree is. You put it in the ground, it spreads roots, and it slowly grows bigger and taller, but it wouldn't be so if it wouldn't be properly rooted, like it kind of feels like it's such a horrible way to explain this. Anyways, I hope you get my point. That it kind of feels like a very abundant stability of a sort, like very comfortable, so June will feel, the way I'm feeling it, that you will see it, is like you're going to have all the needs that you need around you, materially, mainly, and maybe you do something in April, and you will do something in May that's gonna kind of put those roots of stability from where the abundance is gonna just flourish up. With the power here, we have also the power. So I do feel like you're gonna feel very, very confident, very strong, and very comfortable. I do feel like the word comfortable in terms of your living conditions and the things that you need and want and require. It could be at at the space of your own home. But I do feel like the people who chose this pile could be people who work from home and they're able to just see all this abundance flourishing and coming in June. It could potentially that you're settling down in your new home and finally like things are just so clicking well together, they're so peaceful, they just work out really well, and you feel, but I do feel a sense of, I'm just going to explain how it is, and you resonate pile number 2 how you feel like it. On June, you feel stronger, settled down of a sort. You feel power, you feel like your needs are met, you feel like you're literally living in comforts, kind of like a very comfortable, very secure in terms of material goods kind of environment. In health, I do feel like your health is also going to be pretty good in that month, actually. So there's no major things with health, like maybe some headaches here and there, but that's just that. But your health is also really strong. Going back to May, it's like a lot of optimism and kind of like a lot of movement. Also, you were spending time with someone, one or a couple of people, and a lot of home area around, like things that are going to be happening in your home are going to make you really happy. And now moving to your next month, your last month of those 3 months, which is July. So we have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is kind of a refreshment. It always talks to me about kind of like this refreshment. It can talk about young love, or like just this very optimistic, exciting news of a sort. It's just something refreshing of a sort, I would say. That's how it kind of comes into my readings most of the time. So Peak of Joy, I do feel like you actually have a lot of freedom in terms like perhaps you will travel or you will get out of your home way more in July. I do feel like maybe you were like gathering this abundance in the previous months, and then in July you can actually afford to use this to your own desires. Like it feels like, so how does July feel is that you're gonna have a lot of freedom of a sort, a lot of like refreshment. You can see here, like I'm looking at this card and I'm seeing the butterfly here, like a sort of a change and kind of like really freedom, like with the purity and the clouds on the back here. I do feel like you're gonna feel very light in that month. Your health is equally good. I do feel like it's much stronger in June though. But anyways, and I do feel like you're gonna get out in July. Perhaps you might travel, but there is a sense of freedom. So if the previous 2 months were really home related and very like tightly interconnected with your home, in July there is a sense of freedom and relief and kind of like easiness, lightness. With the purity here, I do feel like everything is just so simple, you know? You did use the previous month, or you will actually, you will use the next 2 months very productively. So in July, you'll be able to enjoy this freedom and refreshment. So if you ask me what it has to do specifically with, it could be that you're going on a journey, you're going on a trip. It could feel that potentially just hang out of your home more because the home is not anymore the key element here. I do feel like you're getting out of your home way more. But I do also feel like there is excitement, there's new, maybe you pick up a new hobbies or you try new things, but there is a sense of adventure with the fire energy here in the Page of Wands. And sense of adventure, fresh adventure, like you'll try maybe new things, or you'll start using this abundance and comfort to experience new things, or at the very least you'll feel very refreshed. I do feel like you're definitely getting out of your home much more often in July. And there's a sense of like, you might even travel, I don't think it's going to be too far of a traveling. You might take a field trip. But there is such a sense of like relief. So maybe the next 2 months, you're going to be working very hardcore. You're going to enjoy a lot, but maybe you will just, there's a lot of like conservative energy here. Very happy, very cool, very nice energy here, but conservative. And here feels more of freedom. So I do feel like you spent less time at home. And the potential could be new trips, new hobbies. Don't feel like that much interaction, also, although it could be with a 3-3 social interactions. But I do feel like you spend less time at your home in July, possibly field trips, small trips, bigger trips for some of you, not all of you. It doesn't resonate that well with what I'm seeing. And definitely feeling very refreshed. You can finally like kind of like reaping what you sow. Anyways, kind of like taking the fruits from the tree that you planted the previous months. So last card here is the card that kind of gonna overall explain the situation of all the months. It would make more sense if I started with this card, but it is what it is. The keys on the tree. So what that instantly makes me think is that look at how this elephant is locked down in their home, right? But this elephant has all the keys that they need. They can just reach and take any key. So I feel like, yes, you will be spending a lot of time in a closed space, like in your home in this particular case. But you have all the keys. So you will have all the comforts. You will have everything you need or you need to have. You will create this or have this, and you'll feel very secure and happy. There's a lot of optimism. So basically, it feels like more of a conservative energy for the next 2 months. A lot of home-oriented kind of situation. So a lot of events gonna revolve around your home. But I do feel like you're gonna feel very comfortable because you'll have everything that you need. All the keys that you need are there. And in fact, in July, I do feel like you're gonna use this key over here to unlock the cage and just experience something new, perhaps. Or there's a sense of freedom, like a sense of getting out there in the world more often in July. It can also happen already in June, but I do feel like in July, it's like the peak of joy. Yes. Okay, so that's what I see for you, pile number 2. I'm really trying not to say pile number 1. It just really sticks in the reflex memory from the previous pile readings. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the reading. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe if you feel like it, of course. And you can also check the April video and see how the April predictions kind of flow, and if it makes sense with what you're seeing right now here. But that's it for today. Thanks for dropping by, and I hope I'll see you in the next videos. Bye, guys. Hello, pile number 3s. If you chose the clear quartz here or this pile, well, then this is the pile for you. We're gonna have a look today at your next 3 months, starting from May, ending with July. So the way this reading is gonna go, we're gonna just lay out 3 of those months, have a look in overall idea of the biggest messages happening in those months. So literally it can be anything. I didn't really specify it into like love, career. I'll just pick on whatever I can pick on and I'll just mention it. But it's an overall reading on the biggest kind of energies, events, shifts in those type of months. So that being said, let's hop into your reading. So pile number 3s, what I can see here. Okay, so I'm looking at the full progression for the next 3 months, and here's what I see. Most of you who chose this pile might have a lover, or at the very least some sort of romantic relationship developing in those months. You see, what I'm seeing here is that you might get married, actually. I know it's very, very specific message, so a lot of people might not resonate, especially since it's not the easiest time to get married right now with the lockdowns and stuff. But I do feel like you actually might get married, yeah, or in the very least. So I'll explain one by one and you'll see what I mean. Okay, so let's start with your May. So we have the Strength card here, the Go to the Sea, and the Thriving. Right. So what is happening here? I do feel like in May, you're considering how it progresses. I'll just assume that this is a relationship. But in any case, some aspect of your life is getting stronger. So some aspect is getting stronger and you're stepping into a new stage. So for some of you who don't resonate with the relationship, which is such a strong message here, but let's just go with that. For some of you that don't resonate with the relationship, it could be that something new starts with you this month. So in May, you'll experience something new. So it's gonna go into the unknown, but it goes how it was supposed to go. Look at this face here, watching this lady just kind of like going into the unknown with this like random compass, just literally like, you know, when the wind blows into this, it just randomly just changes direction. So kind of it feels like you're stepping into something unknown, but yet it feels like it's something that had to happen, or it feels like something that it feels like you're a little bit scared because like this is something that is not very familiar to you. It feels like a situation that kind of goes with the flow, literally. And it will make you really happy, truly that, because the Thriving here is like, the Thriving makes me think about progress here in this case, like progress, this tall giraffe and like progress and a positive, optimistic progress. But I do feel like you have a sense of fear, like anxiety, even not fear, but anxiety. Maybe you're anxious about stepping into this unknown, into this new area which you have no idea yet about. But here's the thing, this new area has to do with something that strengthens you, that makes you stronger. So if it is a relationship, it could be a new potentially stage of your relationship that kind of like you get to hear it mainly or know about it in that month, and it kind of progresses through the next months. So it could be the next stage of your relationship. So something new pops up that is really unfamiliar to you, but it's kind of like something that's gonna make you really feel good, and it's definitely gonna progress your relationship into a bigger commitment of a sort, higher level of commitment or a higher level of security and stability. For those who didn't resonate with the relationship, it could potentially some area of your life finally kind of like thrives forward. But you're a bit anxious about it, but it does make you stronger. You do want it, that change, but it just feels a little bit unknown. So in terms of this aspect, you might also have been drawn to part number 1 because there was some sort of uncertainty there as well. So let's look at your next month. So we have here your June. So the Hierophant, why I do feel like it's marriage, because we have, well, I'm going to show you an overall, soulmates, the Empress, which can be wife, kind of mother kind of figure. We have the Hierophant, we have the Strength. So I do feel, and we have the Yin energy, which is the energy of the female, sensuality, sensitivity. Number 2, partnerships, soulmates. It does feel like a lot of you who chose this pile do have a relationship, will have a relationship of a sort. It feels like a very rosy relationship kind of energy. Yeah. So, June. In June, there is potential for marriage, or at the very least, your relationship might get into some sort of traditionally recognized kind of stage. So if you were like just dating, free, going on like by the flow, like really free, like it kind of gets into more like committed. Like at the very least, you could be like, okay, now we really are together. We're a thing, we're a couple. Not just dating, but just actually being together. For others of you, it could be marriage. It could be like going to the next stage of commitment. It could be literally traditional bonds in terms of marriage. With the yin energy here, like the sensuality and the stillness here. Now the stillness can be a card that might freak out a lot of people. But first thing first, look at this swan here. Swan is usually an animal that represents love. And with the stillness card here, I do feel like also the stars kind of like faded love. So with the stillness here, it does get more stable. So the strength here kind of translates into the stillness in the next month. Your relationships are getting stronger, and they get into definitely a more traditional or committed stage of your relationship. The stillness here indicates not like sort of like bonding and stability and security. Not that it does move to anywhere. No. It's just that it gets definitely more secure and traditional. Like you're together finally. Like if you're just starting to date somebody or seeing somebody, it could be that potentially in this month, in month of June, you get like traditionally and like putting a label in this relationship as like you're together, like you're a couple. And it's actually really beautiful because in July, I do feel like you have this beautiful flourishing love going on. Like, so there is definitely a transition. I do feel the changes are happening in May. They get secured in June, and in July, you just enjoy this blissful kind of blessed time together. So the Empress is a signification of love, or also marriage. If it's like with this card, it can signify definitely marriage, a wife material, like somebody becoming somebody's wife here. Motherhood also, but I do feel like there's just so much love. So July is such a tender month. I do feel like there is so much admiration, so much love. Like there's like, and I do feel like this is talking about you, whether you're male or female watching this. I do feel like you're going to be very like nourished, treasured, like this precious time together. With number 5, I do feel like it's going to be different, definitely different from what it was 2 months ago. And I do feel like for some of you, I don't think that just everyone who watches this pile is going to get married. It just feels unrealistic in terms of logic. But anyways, but for some of you, it could be potential marriage or some sort of commitment in terms of like progressing into a more serious stage of your relationship. And in July, you have like this blissful time together. It feels maybe even go on honeymoon. You know what? If you actually get married, maybe you even go on your honeymoon on July. Because the energy here is just so soft, tender. Look at this like nature here happening. It makes me feel relaxation, rejuvenation of a sort, and just spending the time, the two of you together. But yeah, with these penguins here, like, you know, penguins are really committed once they find a partner. I think they're just stick to this partner. I think somebody told me that. Yeah. And it does feel like marriage. It's probably not going to resonate with everyone. So for those who don't resonate with the marriage idea, I do feel like it could be just, it's definitely some sort of relationship. So if you chose this pile and you don't resonate, try and maybe pick a different pile perhaps, or I'm going to make more readings in the future that you can resonate with. But I do feel like the aspect of relationships in this reading is so strong. Like just committing and getting to the next stage of relationship. If you're not getting married, at the very least in July, you might spend a lot of time together. Blissful, great time together. We're going to enjoy a lot of great moments, just the two of you with a lot of admiration, love, caring, nourishing. And definitely it progresses. This relationship that you have with this person, it progresses and it gets more stable, secure in June. Like it starts from May, progressing to June. In July, you're just the two of you. It feels like the world is the two of you. There's so much blissfulness, so much positivity here. And I would love to show it in terms of, like, to just transmit this reading in terms of something else but love. But the energy of love here is really, really strong. It's really, really strong. So it's there's definitely a lot of couples that could resonate, like that could choose this pile. So with the Listen card here, this is kind of the card that would symbolize your entire progress here, like of all the 3 months. So listen. I do feel like you're getting, definitely into a different stage of commitment here and like in the next level of your relationship, because I see the roots here, like roots that sprout the flowers in the new life. So whatever happens here, it kind of definitely progresses and makes it into more of a settled down kind of environment. Butterfly here changes, obviously. Dandelion, if that's Dandelion, kind of like wishfulness, wishes coming true. With the Listen though, I do feel like there is the aspect like this. I feel like this resonates mainly with May. With the Listen, there's going to be some sort of proposition, perhaps. You're going to talk a lot here in those months. Literally could be a proposal, but I don't feel like it could be a proposal, because if marriage happens so soon, it might have happened earlier. Anyways, with the Listen card here, I do feel like you're just gonna listen to one another. You're gonna get really close to your partner, like, and there's definitely a sense of commitment with this partner, like much more secure and rooted kind of atmosphere and relationship than it was before. Definitely much more rooted, much more balanced, because 6 can signify balance. Like a balance, kind of like when all your areas of your life are balanced. But I do feel like you're gonna feel very, like at first you start very anxious, and not very anxious, that's not how I want to put it, but there's a slight anxiety because you're very excited about this, but at the same time, like, it's just going with the flow to the unknown. It's right, it feels like, just makes you stronger, kind of like feels, you have the confidence that it's right choice, kind of. You do know that with the flow just leads you there, but you're just feeling kind of like, even in a good way, anxious. And with this card, I do feel like there's just a security, this understanding, this listening to one another, this kind of feeling of July here, like the blissful, close time to one another and just enjoying the moment. Like there's this very rejuvenating and calming and peaceful energy in terms of like feeling content. And emotionally, it talks about emotions here. I do feel like it's content emotionally here. So yeah, I tried to put it into out of the relationship kind of zone, so people could resonate, those who are perhaps not really getting married, or at least not in a relationship. or they don't think about a relationship, but I do feel like a very strong sense of relationships, love here. Whether you're single or not, there is definitely some sort of progression in commitment in terms of being with a partner in those next 3 months. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you could resonate. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, if you liked it or not, what resonated, what didn't. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and yeah, wishing you a great day, evening, night, wherever you are. And I'll be seeing you in my next readings. Bye, guys. Hello, number 4s. If you chose the Tiger's Eye here, then this is your pile and your reading for what to be expected in the next 3 months. So the way we're going to go is we're going to look at your May, June, July. And also we're going to look at the progression. So what I did in previous readings, I just looked at how it connects to one another and kind of make a conclusion where your story is heading to in the next 3 months. So that being said, let's go ahead and see what are you going to be having in the next few months. Okay, so let's see what we have here. This is your May, June, July. You got 2 tarot cards because they just popped up like this, so I took it as a sign and just took them. I do feel that they're really connected really well, but I'll go there once we look at your May. Okay, so we start with your May. Your tarot card for May is the 4 of Cups. Now, the 4 of Cups is a card of uncertainty, or kind of like denying, not really being up to the challenge, not taking that specific gift or opportunity. And here's what I can see for you, pile number 4. I do get this this memory reflex of the previous piles, and I always call them the wrong number. So let me just explain a little bit of month here. So what do we have for month of May? The 4 of Cups, the journey, and the wonders. Now what I can see here is that it feels like there is some sort of opportunity, some sort of unexpected, like with the wonders, I do feel like some sort of unexpected news, or some news that it take you by surprise, like something that you were it's like, very, like all of a sudden thunder in a really sunny day. It's kind of like we say in my language, but I'm not sure if that's an English thing. Basically, like all of a sudden you're surprised by what you encounter. So I do feel like for some of you, it could be that you have to move to a different place. It could be that you're changing jobs. It could be that you're changing some sort of environment. So it doesn't feel like you're very happy about it because you're very cozy in your environment. Because, number 4 is a card of stability and security and settled down. And this is a 4 number. But in terms of cups, the card itself signifies kind of like this resistance to even change, like not wanting that opportunity, like not even, or sometimes not even seeing this. But in this case, I think you see it quite well. So I do feel like maybe you're not seeing the full opportunity of this moment that you're receiving. But I do feel like in May, you're receiving some sort of new opportunity and you're not very sure about it. You're just not very eager to take the challenge. It feels like you could be changing jobs, getting promoted. Well, who is not even happy about promotions though? Anyways, let's assume. It could be that you're changing, your environment of a sort. Your jobs, it could be that you're potentially moving to a different working place, maybe different branch or something. It could be that in your university, maybe you all of a sudden got a lockdown and you have to just transfer yourself from the university to your home. But it does feel like something gets you by surprise and there is some sort of a changing environment situation in May. It could be that you're moving to a different place. It could be that your parents are moving if you're living still with your parents. It could be that you're there's some sort of surprise opportunity that you're not really eager up to the challenge, but it does mean that you will have to change your very settled down, secure and unbudging environment and kind of like change it to something else, like some sort of a transition there. So I'm looking at this as a progression, right? So as it goes to June, I do feel like you're starting to develop some feelings about your new place. You see, with the 4th chakra, it's chakra of the heart. So you will start kind of liking the new opportunity. I do feel like it's not like you don't like it. It's just you're so rooted into your older habit, older environment. You're so comfortable in there and too much in your comfort zone, you could say. And it takes you by surprise, but you do start to enjoy it a lot. So see, you're developing some positive feelings about it with the Ace of Cups and the 4th chakra of the heart. And in your new environment, like you settle down, you finally feel in June that you're more settling down there, you understand the situation better. The Emperor is a card of power, so potentially it could be an opportunity that actually benefits you in a really good way. But it does feel like it's a kind of a more secure card. It's a very practical, secure card of like a practical material security and kind of like settling down again, I guess. But it feels like you'll feel very secure in your environment and in your place. You kind of adapt quite well in there, and you start developing a liking to it. Like you're like, okay, I'm glad I took this opportunity, or I'm glad that this happened. Like, hey, there's a lot of cool things there. Like, look at all these new opportunities, emotions I'm developing from this. Like all these new feelings I'm feeling, all this new joy that I'm feeling from it. So I do feel like you're feeling very secure and very happy about your choice, very content. That's the word. About that opportunity that just slammed into your door all of a sudden and like just kicked inside into your life. You're developing some sort of like really good feelings about it. Like you're just content and you feel like you adapt really well. It feels like you're just feeling very secure in terms of like physically feeling like you're good there, and also emotionally like developing a liking to your new situation. With the Freedom card here, it does feel like this new opportunity is going to give you a lot of possibilities. A lot of new connections, perhaps a lot of new kind of like even environmentally kind of like it gives you so much opportunity actually. It feels like you're not up to the challenge because you're like, oh, really? But in June, it's very contradictory though, because pile number 1 was they were craving the change and they had to push towards it. It feels like in your pile, kind of the contrast here, you received that opportunity of a sort, or it was just all the time there and just wouldn't pick on it, or yeah, but it feels like it's more like it gets you by surprise of a sort, or it just comes from nowhere. Maybe you even waited for it, but it's just kind of like expected it in a bit, like slightly, but then it's like you're still not physically ready, but you get physically ready for it in June, and you actually develop a really big liking to it. I do feel like this is such a content sort of month for you in terms of that. It's kind of like where you adapt and emotionally develop like your material and emotional connection to that new environment, and you feel very freed from that. So it feels like this gives you like a new sense of freedom, a new sense of being. So it's kind of like whatever that situation is, it kind of makes you feel a little bit more, gives you a little bit more freedom. Maybe you get more time. Maybe it's just that you get more, maybe you get a more flexible schedule. Maybe there's just some things that I feel like open up to you with this opportunity here. As we move to July, we have the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is somebody who is very content with things. Like she has her feelings already here, like, you know, she holds her feelings here. She's just somebody very calm, collected, and she understands and is satisfied and content with what she has. So it's kind of a card of feeling very peaceful and emotionally content with what you have. So if you in June develop like some sort of adaptability to this, but like develop the feelings, see the new opportunities, get this kind of sense of excitement of exploring new horizons of a sort, whatever that means in your particular situation, because it's general reading. In July, you feel more of a like already like it gets more into the habit, not in a bad sense, but it feels more of a like something that already is integrated well into your life of a sort, and you feel very content with it. And it keeps bringing you a lot of optimism. Like you feel very like emotionally very happy with whatever is happening. I do feel like there's a couple of things that are gonna make you really optimistic and really like brighten your day in July. And with the focus here, I do feel like, yes, I do feel like whatever this change was, because I think it talks about the same situation here, it could be something major. It could be literally moving to a new place, or it could be that just changing jobs, positions. As I said before, there's some sort of like, if you remember, there's some sort of changing environment situation here, like getting out of your comfort zone of a sort, changing your environment around you kind of changes, or you have to change it. But it feels like you finally can, like you adapt, and you've adapted really well in June, and in July you're already like, it already becomes sort of like a positive routine, part of your life. It's very integrated. You really feel very content, happy about it, that situation. In fact, it gives you a lot of opportunities. I do feel like in July you can even take, it might be that you also get a lot of time with this. If it's education, obviously you would get time during the holidays, because the holidays usually fall in July, June. But it does feel like if it's work, I do feel like you receive much more freedom with the new position. And also a lot of new opportunities. So it kind of like, maybe there is some benefits you can reap from that in July, but I do feel like you're enjoying the things that you can receive from that new change that happens in your life, starting from May. I do feel like you were integrating this change already, like not integrating, but I feel like you were involved into having this change, kind of like, you did something and this kind of like progressed into happening. It's kind of like a sequence of something that you might have done or will do in April, or even earlier a little bit. So with the focus card here, because I didn't really refer to it, I took it a little bit for granted. With the focus here, what it talks is that you will be very, I do feel like the settled down energy here is like a good one. But it might be that you also will take a trip, not too far. Maybe like I do see the water here. For some reason, like the water stands out to me here in the warm weather. So I do feel like maybe you will even have time, or just irrelevantly to the situation, you will just be going somewhere on vacation. Maybe somewhere where there's water. So I do see like water, maybe like to the sea or something, or you will explore some lakes. There's a lot of like relaxation in July. You will have a very relaxed time. Yet somehow still drifting thoughts of your work, perhaps in your work environment, maybe preparing for the next education year or work, whatever resonates. Elixir of Life. So I do feel, first let me explain. This card was supposed to kind of summarize the next 3 months for you. And seeing this makes me think that yes, definitely there is some sort of like shifting in your life. Like you changed the way you're living of a sort. So it could be a new place, it could be a new job, it could be a new position, kind of like transition from one comfort zone to a different kind of settlement. Not maybe even physically, but maybe perhaps, I don't know, it could be but there is some sort of transition to a new environment where you have to adapt. And you're adapting quite well too, and it gives you a lot of opportunities and it gives you a lot of joyful moments through the summer. But Elixir of Life, I do feel like, yes, definitely there is some sort of enhancement in your life, a next stage that gives you a lot of opportunity. It just takes you a little bit by surprise in the beginning of May. Kind of a surprise, but it's just like you're still double thinking it? Second guessing it because you're not sure. Because sometimes we get too stuck in our routines, in our too comfortable environment. So it can be the case that you're just like, too much in your comfort zone. Do I really have to? But I do feel like there's so much that is going to come your way through this that you can't even see it at the very beginning. But then gradually, with this focus also, you do understand that it was a great choice, indeed. Or a great sequence of events, if that was not a direct choice. Anyways, but yeah, Elixir of Life, your life will get new colors, new blooms, basically. It's gonna, whatever happens in the next 3 months, it's gonna shift your life around a little bit. Give it colors, more purpose, perhaps a new direction, new resolutions, a new possible career choice, possible new opportunities. And it will give you also a lot of new flourishing, kind of like this new opportunity will also give you a lot of benefits in the long run. So I do feel like you're zipping on this Elixir of Life with the number 6 here. If you also look at this 1 and 5, it's kind of a balance. So your life gets into a different kind of settlement, and it receives balance by June already. You're adapting quite easily and quite fast, and that's probably because this environment is either way you expected it or wanted for quite a while, or it's just that it fits you so well that it just integrates very well into your life, or it's just because you're a very, very adaptable person. Take it as it resonates. It's obviously a general reading. Everything won't resonate, but take what does click for you here. So I do feel like that's everything I could possibly tell you today for this reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what resonated, what didn't, if you feel like it. Also, if you feel like it, comment and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. And yeah, you can also check the April video that I posted recently and see if you can see some connections here, because I did feel for a lot of piles that the April reading kind of like, I felt like a sequence here between the April reading that I did before and this 3 months ahead reading. So yeah, you feel free to check whatever video you want, really. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Have a great evening, day, any part of the day that you're experiencing today. and I'll be seeing you in my next readings. Bye!